Yo, this is your boy Zambian YouTuber X and I'm back with another video. Seems like I've got some lighting challenges here, right? Okay guys, you know I'm a bush boy, so I live in the bush, so the environment has to look bushy, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, yo, I want to say something, I want to say something to you. Hey, has any one of you guys compared, you guys from Africa, guys from Zambia, guys from Nigeria, guys from South Africa, guys from Kenya, guys from Namibia, Zimbabwe, everywhere, Egypt, have you guys sat down and just sat down for a moment and be like, you know what, let's look at contemporary education and let's compare it with traditional education? You know what I mean? Like, has any one of you sat down to just make a strict comparison? You know what I'm saying? Okay, first of all, let's start with contemporary education. A child goes to kindergarten. Oh, by the way, kindergarten is a German word. The child goes to kindergarten, finishes a couple of years, a year or whatever, goes into first grade, elementary school, finishes all the elementary school, okay? In Zambia they call it primary school, okay? And then graduates, goes to secondary school, okay? High school, so to speak, okay? From high school, the child, finishes with a high school diploma, or in Zambia they call it a general certificate of education certificate. You know what I mean? 12 years spent, alright? Then the child will probably, go into a university, to a trade school, and whatever. You get what I mean? But I don't want to look at what happens after 12 years. I just want to look at the 12 years, okay? A child spends 12 years in school, okay? And he's basically raw material. You see what I mean? And then when you look at village education, okay? In the village, they also encourage the child to go into first grade, second grade, you know what I mean? And just learn how to read and write. Meaning that when a child reaches the grade 6 or 7, they are ready for life adventures, you know what I mean? Because at least they can read and they can write, you know what I mean? And the child may not even have the chance of going to all that. Besides, they don't get like a kindergarten. Kindergarten is totally unheard of in the village, okay? They just go first grade, second grade, up there, they get to 7th grade, and some go into high school and blah blah. But I want to look at it from the traditional perspective. Let's say a child just didn't have a chance to go to school. You know what I mean? No chance to go to school. What the child would be doing, okay, is at the time when the other children are going to school, to do elementary school, that child will be rearing cattle, okay, and goats, okay? So the child will be busy rearing cattle and goats, you see what I mean? By the time those guys, finish their 7th grade, okay, that child has got at least 10 cattle of his own, because he started being a cowboy. Yeah, he started being a cowboy at the age of 6, you see what I mean? And he maintained being a cowboy all the way up to the age of 13, when others are going to high school. At the age of 14, others are going to high school. He himself is just a cowboy, and the father has given him maybe like 1 cow, and in the end he's got like 10 cows. You see what I'm saying? He's got like 10 cows, or probably even 15 cows. Okay. He continues with his cowboy business. By the time the other kids are reaching the 12th grade, okay, the boy from the village, okay, has probably got 100 heads of cattle. You see what I mean? His own. You see what I mean? 100 heads of cattle. In Zambia, one head of cattle is approximately 10,000 kwacha. Alright? Which is about 10,000 kwacha is about how much? About $500. You see what I mean? So now, that child who didn't follow formal education, who didn't follow contemporary education, ends up with 100 cattle at the age of, let's say, 17. Okay? He's got 100 cattle. So 100 times 500, you see what I'm saying? That's like 50,000. 100 times 500. It's about 50,000. Okay. So that child, at the age of 17, he becomes worth $50,000. Okay. In Zambian money, it's 10,000 by 100. So it's about 10,000 by 100. Isn't that not a million? Okay, 10,000, we add 1 0, we are gonna end up with 100,000. If we add another 0, just a million. The child at the age of 17 becomes worth 1 million. You see what I mean? He becomes worth 1 million. Now, look at the life of this child. What happens to this child when he reaches the age of 25? You see what I mean? This child is gonna be filthy rich by the age of 25. Whereas the other child, you see what I mean? At the age of 25, that's when the other child will be looking for work. They want an employer, someone to employ them. And who do you think is going to employ? The village child, the one who never went to school. Because by the age of 25, he's got like 100 or 150 heads of cattle. You see what I mean? And you guys, with your university degrees, you are looking for work as agricultural scientists. He's the one who's going to employ you. You see what I mean? So what I'm saying is that when you look at life from the perspective of village education, it's actually better compared to academic education. You see what I mean? But the problem that we've got here in Africa, here in Zambia, or wherever else you want to call in Africa, is that people do not appreciate anything that comes from the village. They think the village is rubbish, backwards. Yes, those people can't read, they can't write, but they are wiser. You see what I mean? They got more wisdom because they're able to bring up a child. By the age of 17, the child is worth 50,000 United States dollars. You know what I mean? By the time this child reaches the age of 40, man, he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Okay? These are the children who start to think, okay, what about my children? You know, when they have children, they send them to the United Kingdom for school. You see what I mean? Or they send them to the United States for school. Simply because Americans especially, they don't just teach education. They teach education slow entrepreneurship. You see what I mean? When you get educated from the United States, you not only learn your science or your math or your whatever, you see, you also learn how to become an entrepreneur and how to succeed as an entrepreneur. You see what I'm saying? So guys, I want you to comment down below. Do you agree with what I've said? Okay? Or do you not agree with what I've said? Because as far as I've seen, I think that here in Zambia we have missed it. You know, what we're supposed to do is to understand village education, traditional education, and at the same time understand contemporary education. You see what I'm saying? Academic education. And find a balance, strike a balance between the two. You see what I mean? And we can end up producing very rich people very fast, and the wealth of the economy, the whole economy can just transform, can just change. You see what I'm saying? Everyone could just be better off. Okay? So I challenge you guys. Comment down below and prove me wrong, or tell me I'm wrong. Okay? If I'm right, tell me I'm right. Okay guys, I'm out of here. Take care.